Stop explaining yourself. Stop feeling the need to people please. Stop feeling the need to try to avoid anxiety, to try to not disappoint somebody by telling them no. Stop feeling as if you need someone's approval so bad that you're over-explaining. You're trying to find a way to make it sound right when you decline. You're trying to over-explain why you don't want to tell somebody something. You don't need to tell anybody anything. You don't owe anybody anything. It's not like that, you know? You're killing your own confidence. You're building a bad relationship with yourself every single time that you're trying to over-explain. Stop explaining yourself. You feel how you feel. And it's okay for you to feel how you feel. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about feeling how you feel. It is your life. It is not their life. They don't have to deal with the way that you feel. They don't have to deal with your consequences. They don't have to deal with your choices. They don't have to deal with your decisions. You don't have to tell anybody anything. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. I repeat that. I repeat. You do not have to prove anything to anybody. It is okay for you to just not have to explain yourself about how you feel. It's okay to decline an invitation. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be like, I don't feel like going out tonight. I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? You can get peer pressured a lot of times by friends, by family, by coworkers, by just different people, just being like, hey, come on out. Come be with us tonight. Come do this. You know, it don't got to be as specific as coming out tonight, but I just want to use that as an example. Hey, come out tonight. Come hang with us. You don't ever hang with us. I don't see you enough. We don't do stuff enough. Come on, hang out. It's okay to say no. You don't got to explain why. You simply just don't want to go. Sometimes you simply just don't want to go. You just don't want to, and it's okay to just not want to. You don't got to people please. You don't got to go just because everybody else is going and just because everybody else wants you to go. You know what I'm saying? Stop chasing approval. It's okay to miss out on it. It's okay to just be like, I just don't feel it today. I'm not feeling it. And look, I'm not saying there aren't some days that you need to challenge yourself. I'm not saying that there are some days that you're basking in your comfort zone. You need to just, you know what I'm saying, get up and be like, you know, I am being lazy. I could do this. It's a 50-50. It's a toss-up. I could go. I could challenge myself, and maybe it'll be a good time. And sometimes those are good times. Sometimes it's worth it, you know? I've had plenty of times where I was just like, I am being a little, you know, let me just go. And then I had a wonderful time. It was worth it. But I'm not talking about that right now. What I'm talking about is if you know you on like a 15% battery, your social battery is not charged, you feeling low, you feeling down, you don't have that energy, you don't have that joy, you're going to be a buzzkill anyway. You're not going to have a good time anyway. Sit back and recharge. Just don't go. But you don't got to explain why. You don't have to come up with some elaborate explanation. You don't have to have some other thing that you were doing that is more interesting or more entertaining to not go. Oh, I'm about to go flying in a helicopter. That's why I can't come tonight. Oh, I got a date with Tall, Dark, and Handsome tonight. That's why I can't come. You know? Oh, I got a job opportunity. I got an interview in the morning. I got this. It don't got to be something else to fill in the gap for you to say no. You can simply say no just because you don't want to go, because you don't feel like it. You don't feel like it. You know how you feel. You know how you feel deep down inside. Respect how you feel. Draw boundaries. It's okay to say no. Because every single time that you say yes when you really mean no, what you're doing is subconsciously telling yourself, my feelings don't matter. How I feel doesn't matter. Other people's enjoyment, other people's fun, other people's approval, that's more important than how I feel. That's what you're telling yourself every time that you say yes when you really mean no. So stop doing that. Stop developing this wrong, this horrible, negative relationship with yourself in which you are allowing other people to peer pressure you. Stop reinforcing this negative dynamic in which you feel guilty about telling people no or not explaining a situation. You don't have to explain anything. You don't need people's approval. You don't need to prove anything. You do what you want to do when you feel like doing it. It is your life. It is not their life. You deal with those consequences. They don't deal with the consequences. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be as deep as I got work in the morning and I'm not going to be fully charged for work in the morning if I go with y'all tonight. Maybe you'll be fine. But if you don't feel like it, you just don't feel like it. Respect how you feel. Respect how you feel. No is just an answer. Okay? You know what I'm saying? No is just an answer. It's okay to say no. I know that you know somebody that if you told them, you asked them, hey, you want to go do this today? They'll be like, nah, I don't feel like it. I don't want to go. No other explanation, no other nothing. They just know. They're being in tune with themselves and they're saying, I don't want to. They can draw a strong boundary. They don't let anybody try to force them or try to guilt them into doing something. If I said no, I said no. If I don't want to tell you this thing, I ain't going to tell it to you. You know what I'm saying? Some of them will get bold. It ain't your business. Stop asking me. And whether you want to be aggressive with it or not, that's up to you. Whatever's your forte. But, it's like, you don't have to be explaining yourself. You don't have to be trying to make people understand you. Stop falling for the trap of wanting to be understood. People will purposefully misunderstand you. You get what I'm saying? No is just an answer, and it doesn't have to be anything more than that. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. You don't need to add to the story. It's just no. It's just I don't feel like it. It's just this doesn't make me feel comfortable. It's just I don't want to. It's okay to not help somebody. If somebody's asking for help and you don't have the capacity to help them, it's okay to not help them. You don't gotta have an explanation. No, I cannot pick you up from the airport. No, I cannot help you move. No, I cannot help you with this. I cannot do that for you. I can't do it. It's not my problem. That's just not my problem. It's not my problem. Like, for real, bro. And I'm not saying you got to gloat about it. I'm not saying you got to be a jerk, but it's not your problem. You know what I'm saying? Help people when you can help people. That's fine. Have a giving spirit. Have a helping hand. Have a helping heart. But don't overextend yourself. And if you can't overextend yourself, don't overexplain. Don't try to explain. I can't do it because of this, and I can't pick you up because of that, and I can't. Listen, don't explain yourself. You can't. You just can't do it. And even if it's just as simple as I don't feel like it, you don't feel like it. You don't feel like it. Even if you don't want to say that, that's how you feel. You don't have to give an explanation. You don't. Don't feel guilty about that. Don't feel as if there's something wrong with you just because you said no. Stop trying to not disappoint other people. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to have to disappoint someone. Sometimes you're going to have to be the bad guy. Sometimes you're going to have to be the person who's quote unquote unreliable. Sometimes you're the quote unquote bad friend. But a lot of times that's really not the case, and it's not the case. It's just how they make you feel. They might try to make you feel guilty. They might try to gaslight you. They might try to say some things to make you feel like, oh man, you don't ever help me. Man, if I don't want to help you, I don't gotta. But if you're a person who's dealing with this, typically you either actually do it or you're over explaining why you can't because you feel guilty about not doing it. You feel as if you're disappointing somebody. Stop trying to chase that approval. Listen, if there's somebody that you don't know that well, right? Whether it's a coworker or a friend's friend, or maybe it's a family friend or somebody that you just don't know that well, and they're asking you these particular questions that you just don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to answer them. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and telling you that you have to tell them where you live and what you plan to do with your life and who you're going on a date with, right? Where do you work? How much money do you make? What do you do for fun? Which park do you go to take your walk in so I can meet you there? If you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel comfortable. And that's okay to not feel comfortable. It's okay to not feel as if you need to tell somebody anything because you don't. Stop explaining yourself. Stop explaining why you don't feel comfortable. Stop explaining why you don't want to tell them this. Stop explaining yourself. Stop being like, I live in this part of town. Oh, okay. What street? I live on this street. Oh, okay. What building? I live in this building. Oh, okay. What room number? You don't have to tell them nothing if you don't feel like it. Look, maybe they'll get offended. Maybe they'll feel as if you're acting funny, but who cares? Who cares? If you don't feel like telling somebody something, you don't have to. This is literally not their business. It's legitimately not their business to know any of this information about you. So stop explaining yourself. You don't have to tell them what company you work for. You don't have to tell them what street that you live on. You don't have to tell them what you do for a job. You don't have to tell them anything. Anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't answer anything that you don't feel comfortable answering. And you don't have to explain why you don't feel comfortable. You just don't feel comfortable. Ladies, let's say that there's some guy that's trying to holler at you, right? You think that he's handsome. You think that he's nice. You think that he's cool. He's trying to holler at you. He's trying to rizz you up. And somewhere in the conversation, he just starts asking some questions that you feel are a little bit too intimate, a little bit too personal. It's something you don't feel comfortable discussing. It's something that you don't feel as if you know him well enough to be trying to tell him about. And he keeps on pressing the button. He keeps on just being like, oh, tell me about this. I want to know about this. You don't have to tell him nothing. You don't have to tell him nothing. You know that feeling that you had in your gut that like, I don't feel comfortable discussing this with him. Don't give him a pass just because you think he's a handsome guy. Don't give him a pass because you think he's swaggy, because he got money, because of whatever. It don't matter. He is pushing your boundaries. And if he doesn't respect your boundaries, then he doesn't respect you. If he's rejecting your boundaries and he is repeatedly asking you a question that you've already pretty much told him that you don't feel comfortable talking about, he don't respect you. That's a walk-in red flag. That's a walk-in just a bad vibe. And you know that gives you a bad vibe. It doesn't matter how great he might seem, how nice he might seem, how nice he might ask it. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, do not explain yourself. Don't try to tell him why you don't feel comfortable about it. You don't feel comfortable. Don't explain yourself. Don't people please. Forget validating his feelings. Validate your feelings. Validate how you feel. Listen, fellas, if you're talking to a shorty and there's something that you told her that she's doing that's making you uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? She calling you a certain name. She's saying a certain thing. Her behavior is acting in a certain weird way. She doing something in public that you don't like. If you've expressed that to her and you telling her like, hey, I don't really like that, and she just keeps on repeating it, she don't respect your boundaries, fam. She don't really see you as somebody worthy enough to respect boundaries for. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep on repeating yourself. You don't have to keep on explaining yourself. You don't have to keep on explaining why you don't like this behavior. You already told her, I don't like it. I don't like it when you do this. I don't like it when you say this. Don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? And if you've expressed that to her, that don't make you sassy. That don't make you none of those weird little things for people trying to put these tricks in your head and trying to tell you you're some kind of person just because you're drawing a boundary. You drew a boundary. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Or if you feel like she's moving a little weird, if there's something in your gut that's telling you like, shorty acting weird. There's something she ain't telling me. There's something's up. Something's off about old girl. Something is just not right. You got that gut instinct. You got that gut feeling. Follow your gut. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to explain yourself. Don't be trying to figure out how you can tell her in a polite way and how you can try to make her not hurt her feelings and blah, blah, blah. Forget that, man. She already disrespecting your boundaries. She already not acting right. Just cut it. Just cut it. Sometimes you need to just remove yourself from a situation. You feel it in your stomach. You feel it in your gut. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Don't end up in some bad mess with some girl who ain't worth it when you knew deep down in your gut it wasn't worth it. You knew deep down in your gut it was like, yo, something's telling me, man, shorty off. You know what I'm saying? She lying about something. Something ain't right. Look, she might be cute. She might got that donkey. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel like something is off, trust your gut. We all got a gut feeling. We all got a gut instinct. We all got something deep down that tells us when to say no, when to walk away, when to leave a situation, when to not try to stick around. But oftentimes we want to try to explain what that is. We want to try to explain that feeling. Sometimes you don't need to explain that feeling. Sometimes you need to just feel it and then act on that feeling. Your gut is your gut. You feel how you feel. Listen, don't ever be afraid to cut anything off. Okay? Don't ever be afraid to cut off a friendship, a relationship, somebody that you're dating, a coworker, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to cut nothing off. If somebody doesn't respect your boundaries and they're constantly reinforcing this idea of making you feel guilty, you need to leave that person alone. Nobody should be trying to make you feel guilty all the time. You shouldn't be dealing with somebody who's constantly guilt tripping you. At all. I mean, this could even be family. If you're dealing with somebody who's constantly trying to put you down and make you feel bad, just because you say no, just because you are rejecting something, just because you decline, you need to leave this person alone. Not only does this person not respect your boundaries, it's just like this person doesn't mind hurting you. You know what I'm saying? This person doesn't mind hurting you, so you need to leave them alone. Stop giving people passes. Stop giving people passes. Draw your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Draw a firm boundary and just be like, I will not tolerate this. I will not accept this. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. I really want you to get that through. Like, please download that in your head. I'm trying to program this into you right now. You do not have to prove yourself to anybody. You feel how you feel. It's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to say exactly how you feel about a certain thing, whether you like something or you dislike something. It's okay to say that you love something that everybody hates. It's okay to say that you think something is lame that everybody else loves. Stop trying to always give the right answer. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to tell people what you think that they want to hear. Tell people what you think. Tell people what you feel. Like, don't be a jerk, you know? Don't be somebody who's just a really Buzz Killington, you know what I mean? But be honest. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Stop lying. Stop being this person who's just, I'm going to say what I think is the right thing. I want to say the thing that's neutral. I want to say the thing that everybody else is thinking, that everybody else is feeling. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Listen, it's okay. Speak your mind. Stop trying to explain yourself. Stop trying to be like, well, I like this because. You like it because you like it. I don't like this because. You don't like it because you don't like it. Okay? Stop trying to gain approval. Stop trying to impress people so much. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys, they try to tell every girl that they talk to everything they think that they want to hear. They try to tell them everything they feel like is the right thing to say. Say what you feel. Say what's right to you. Don't be trying to say what you think is the right thing to say. Say what you actually feel. Be authentic. Be real. Be vulnerable. She's either going to rock with you or she's not going to rock with you. He's either going to like you or he's not going to like you. You get what I'm saying? If you tell him the truth, you tell him, hey, I don't like that. And he's saying like, hey, I don't really know if I can mess with you. Whatever, it's his loss. Walk away. Walk away. Have the value, the self-worth to walk away. Stop being so agreeable just because you want to chase approval. Just because you want somebody to like you. You don't got to agree with everything that somebody says in order for them to like you. In fact, that's one of the fastest ways to get somebody to not like you. Being a parrot. You know what I'm saying? Being a little puppet. You doing anything that they say to do. But at the same time, you don't got to try to over-explain why you won't either. Don't over-explain. Don't be explaining yourself. You feel how you feel, and that's how you feel. As you mature, you will slowly realize over time that it's not worth it to try to explain yourself. There are people who will purposefully misunderstand you. Stop trying to make someone understand you when they are purposefully misunderstanding you. They either respect your boundaries or they don't respect your boundaries. And if they don't respect your boundaries, they got to step. Stop explaining yourself. Stop explaining yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth how it feels on the inside, the damage you're doing to yourself subconsciously. It's not worth it. Once you understand that people will only understand you to their level of perception, you will stop explaining yourself. People are going to see you how they see you. They're going to feel how they feel about you. You can't change someone's image that they have of you in their mind. How they feel about you is how they feel about you. How they see you is how they see you. All kinds of people pleasing, all kinds of explaining, all kinds of trying to find a way to make yourself sound perfect. That's not going to change the image they have of you. That's not going to make them think any higher of you. That's not going to make them like you more. Respect yourself. A lot of times when people are over-explaining themselves, they are seeking validation. They want to feel validated for saying the right thing, for trying to make sure that they were neutral enough, for trying to make sure that they, were the person that isn't going to step on any toes. They want to be validated for that. When in reality, nobody is respected for that. You are being disrespected every time that somebody is trying to tell you to do something or trying to make you say something, and you cave in. And when you explain yourself, it's almost as bad as caving in. It's almost as bad because you're trying to validate it. You're trying to give an excuse. You're trying to make it something. You're trying to decrease the tension. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to deflate the tension. Sometimes that tension needs to stay there. Sometimes you need to just accept the fact that this is going to be an awkward moment. Sometimes you need to just look somebody in the eye and give them that look like, yo, I'm not about to tell you this. I'm not doing that. I can't help you. That's just what it's got to be. Just stop explaining yourself. Just stop explaining yourself. You don't want to go to the family gathering this year? You don't have to go. Don't explain why. There is no reason why. You just don't feel like it. You don't want to hang out with your friends tonight? Hey, you just can't go. I can't go out for drinks tonight. I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I just don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? You can't help somebody move. I just can't. I don't need to explain why. I just can't help you. I just can't do it. You don't want to give somebody some money? You don't have the money to give? Don't explain yourself. Don't be trying to explain your financial situation. I just can't help. I just can't do it. You don't want to talk to somebody no more. They've repeatedly violated your boundaries. You just don't talk to them no more. Stop explaining yourself. Don't give them some whole sermon, some whole paragraph of this is what you did and you did this and this is how this made me mad and this is the reason why. Forget it. You already told them no. You already told them don't do that. There's no discussion to be had. We've already talked about this. We've already said it. I've already addressed it. And you keep on doing the same thing. You keep on doing the same thing over and over again, even though I told you how it makes me feel. We ain't having no discussion no more. We're not talking about it. There's nothing to talk about. Just stop explaining yourself. Stop putting yourself in that position. Stop feeling weaker. Stop feeling lesser than. Stop devaluing yourself. Sometimes there's nothing to discuss. Sometimes there's nothing to say. You don't always need an explanation. You don't have to prove yourself to nobody. To nobody. You know what I'm saying? You really don't. You don't got to prove yourself to anyone. You just need to live your life in full accordance to how you feel. Be authentic with you. Be real with you. Be righteous. Be righteous. Stop lying to yourself. This might result in a couple awkward moments. This might result in a couple times that somebody's really going to not be happy. But it's you or them. Listen, long story short, it is okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no, and you don't have to explain why. You feel how you feel, and that's just how you feel. Don't deny that. Respect that. Honor that. Just make sure that you stay in tune with it. Make sure that you do not deny how you feel. Stop explaining yourself. Stop people pleasing. Stop chasing approval. Stop feeling guilty. It is okay. But hey, you know, I always got to tell you that I really appreciate y'all for watching if you watch this far, because realistically, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And I appreciate that. So much love. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, peace.